Tom Lee has apologized publicly and admitted that he was wrong about tariff was not going to hurt the stock market. And Elon Musk is now clashing with Trump trade advisor. Let's take a quick look into this video that explains a little bit more in depth.
With all this volatility, where are we going? Let's ask Tom Lee. He is FundStrat's managing partner, head of research, also a CNBC contributor with me here at Post 9. Thank you for being here. So, Liberation Day didn't go as you thought. You apologized publicly for that, which I think a lot of people appreciated. You're always a stand-up person about that. What now? Where are we going?
Well, I think a couple of things that we're thinking about is we know markets have gotten very pessimistic. They've priced in a 60% probability of a recession. And if tariff negotiations de-escalate, then the probability isn't that high. So I think that there's still a big window for markets to have a large rebound, but it's really the path of this de-escalation.
We're in a bear market. I mean, we're in a bear market, right? I mean, it almost doesn't matter, textbook, whether you say we are or not. It's like so many stocks got just absolutely destroyed before this uncertainty happened in the market.
Yes. I mean, if we define a bear market as stocks feel like a grind or you're losing money, I'd say it really started in December because markets were churning even through the February high. But if I was to define a bear market as unleashing a type of financial tightening that leads to a recession, we're not at that criteria yet. But I think it feels like a bear market for the average person.
Are we supposed to buy into that or just stay cautious and on the sidelines, don't do anything, sit on our hands? I don't think people know what to do. And I'm not just talking in the CEO suites because they obviously don't know what to do. How can you? So what is the investor supposed to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's sort of two brains people are fighting. One is the tactical brain, which is, look, they want to know if this is a bottom, and they want to be convinced of it by seeing stocks rally on bad news. But if someone had the investor hat on, and, that's the long-term brain, I have a lot of confidence the U.S. companies are going to navigate through this treachery. Stocks are hugely oversold because you never really lose money buying the VIX at 50 or when the percentage of stocks above the 200-day drops to 15. Those are almost guarantees of positive 1-year, 3-year, 5-year returns. So it depends which brain you're wearing today, but I'd say the majority of our clients are trying to be tactical.
I hear views of, well, it's really hard to get uber bearish now because a headline at any moment, as I said in the open here, the market is waiting so hard for some bit of good news that if you're on the wrong side of that, you get a day like you had on Wednesday.
Yes. I mean, if I was to oversimplify the framing of this, U.S. and China have absurd levels of reciprocal tariffs at the moment. And if you believe those are in place, then the global economy is in trouble and you should be bearish. But if this is a matter of who makes the overture first or blinks, but we know it de-escalates, then I think the downside has it comes off dramatically, and I think stocks can actually do really well into the rest of the year.
So you'd be a buyer right now?
Yes, and with the apology that, of course, I didn't think Liberation Day was going to be this draconian, but yes, I would be buying stocks today.
What would you buy?
Well, one of the things we did for our clients last night is to look at what's called Walter Deemer calls sold out stocks, which is worse than oversold. Sold out stocks don't go down because there's a lot of bad news priced in. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stocks that didn't make new lows on Tuesday, April 8th. They made their lows a month ago, and they had lower volume on April 8th. Those are what I'd call washed out stocks. A group that I think is washed out is the Mag 7. So I'd look at Mag 7 as a place to really expect a rebound, including stocks like Tesla.
Okay. You used the word draconian. That was your word. But I'm going to play off of that and say, well, what if we're in a post-draconian period where, because of that, we're left with the rubble of that decision-making in the White House? And the damage has been done. CEOs have no visibility whatsoever. Do you see this consumer sentiment number today?
Yeah, they're awful.
Do you see where inflation expectations are?
Yeah, they've gone bananas.
Do you see what earnings expectations have done recently?
I mean, there's no ability to make guidance.
So what if the damage is already done now?
That's right. Now, we have to keep in mind this has been 10 days. So it is a shock, a high-amplitude shock, but only of 7 days. So someone can restart the patient's heartbeat. I think that the White House is now keenly aware that Main Street can't handle a huge deleveraging because it is going to lead to job loss, and he's listening to CEOs. So I think there's a really big window to repair the bulk of this damage. And at the other side of this, of course, is that we have reciprocal tariffs in place that are acceptable. We have tax policy that's changing and less regulation. So I actually think the 2026 outlook is still quite good.
Which puts are you, so to speak, more reliant on now, a Fed one or a Trump one?
Well, I think there's a call at work and a couple of puts. I think that there is a Fed liquidity put that was in evidence today by the Fed.
When Collins said what she did?
Exactly. And we know the Fed put on rates strikes much lower. The White House has a policy put because we know that you can't brinksmanship the global economy to a halt just to try to get China to blink. And I think that the call is, I think there's a negotiator call, which means I think the White House exercised the Navarro call and replaced him with Besson.
We are now in a trade war versus China, and neither side is backing down. Elon Musk called the Trump trade advisor a moron on Twitter. Seems like there's trouble in paradise. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and click on the link below for some free stock from Webull and Moomoo. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.